for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
When you hear the Kevin Jackson Show,
you're hearing that they've mislabeled many of the so-called deaths. 10,000 people have died. But you know what they're also telling you? Overestimated the number of deaths.
Then you are home. The Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix.
Okay, so I'm really confused because, my dad's Latino and my mom is white. So does that mean I can only listen to, half of Chips and Salsa?
That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
And we are back with the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
And we also have added to our panel our guest from the last segment, Michelle Candelaria. She is the chairwoman for Arizona Republican National Hispanic Assembly. And we are thrilled to have with us on the phone, and we're kind of experimental here, so be patient with us, Dr. Kelli Ward, who is the Arizona GOP chairwoman right now, and she's running for re-election. Welcome, Kelli. Can you hear us?
Hey, Miss Alice, yes, I can. And Jorge, great to talk to you, too. Yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully you all can hear me as well.
All right, fantastic. Well, first of all, George is a little bit far away, so I'm going to ask a question that he wanted to pose to you, and that is about one of the things about being the AZGOP chairman. You have to raise a lot of money, and you have a little sheet that just came out here on our email, in which you talk about how, you did raise a lot of money. Could you expound on that a little bit, Kelli?
Yes. One of the greatest challenges for a chairman or a chairwoman is to make sure that you have the financial resources to do the job that has to be done. And we were very, very blessed. Obviously, this is probably the biggest election that we've ever had in Arizona, with the most groundwork that had to be done, because, as you know, in 2018, the Democrats really decimated a lot of the Republican control that we had before I ever took office. I mean, we lost seats in the Arizona House, 6 seats, putting that majority very, very close, 31-29. We lost the superintendent of public instruction. We lost the secretary of state. We lost the U.S. Senate race. We lost one of our corporation commission seats. So there was a lot that we had to overcome come 2020. And we were able to be very, very successful despite the challenged results for the presidency and for the U.S. Senate seat this time, especially the presidency. I still believe the president won this state. We had the slimmest margin in the country, 0.3%, separating the candidates, about 10,000 votes. And there were too many mistakes, irregularities, and problems with that election for anybody to really have confidence in that result. But when you look all the way down the ballot, if you look at the Corporation Commission and what we did there, if you look at the state legislature, that we maintained our majorities despite millions of dollars that were put in by the Democrats, targeting some very key districts in LD6 with Walt Blackman and Wendy Rogers. They did not want them there. With Kevin Payne out in LD21, with J.D. Mesnard in LD17, they were strategically trying to pick off districts that they thought were vulnerable, and we prevented that from happening. And it's because we were able to raise money. We had money that we raised on our own, millions that we raised, and we also had millions that came in through transfers from other entities who understood that we, the Republican Party of Arizona, were able to manage those funds the most effectively and with the most accountability of any entity out there. That money could have gone to a PAC. That money could have gone to the governor's under his direction. But that money came to the Republican Party of Arizona because we had a plan. We had great relationships here in the state as well as across the country. And we put that into action and we won.
And we're talking to Dr. Kelli Ward. She is the chairwoman right now of the Arizona Republican Party, and she's running for re-election. There are 3 other candidates. Just full disclosure, we have made an attempt to have all the candidates online here on the Chips and Salsa Show. So why do you want to do this job again, Kelli? Haven't you had enough to go through to suffer?
I will tell you, this is a frustrating but fun and exhilarating but exhausting job. It is thankless in some respects because it's so easy to attack the person who is the chairman or the chairwoman of the party and try to cast all blame for everything that ever happened onto that person. I think that my experience in life and as well as in politics has really finally honed me to be able to do this job. You know, before I was in politics, obviously I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. I owned my own business, a medical practice, for more than a decade. I served in the legislature as a very effective state legislator, getting 19 bills in 1 year. And so I understand how policy works, and I understand how the politics of the policy works to be able to get those things signed into law to do good work for our people. And then running for the United States Senate in a statewide capacity also put me through trial by fire. And then my 2 years as chairwoman really has we've built a foundation that is so firm, because before I got there, the foundation was pretty sandy and pretty shifty and pretty unstable. And we've built this stable foundation, and I want to see it go a little higher before I pass on that torch. And I will tell you, the thing that solidified my decision to actually do this, and I didn't make the decision until December, because I was fighting so hard for election integrity, fighting so hard for President Trump, fighting so hard to make sure that people could have confidence in their vote, that I thought that the chairman's race was I couldn't concentrate on that at that point. But when I saw President Trump in December, when I was really blessed to be able to go to the Oval Office, I asked him, I'm thinking about doing this. He said, not just should you do it, you must do it. You need to do it, because we need people like you leading the Republican Party, keeping the 74 million Trump voters in the fold, and giving them people who represent them at all levels that they can be proud of. And I talked to him again just yesterday, and he reiterated that and said, you have my complete and total endorsement. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I hope that the people of Arizona will give me that opportunity, that the state committee in Arizona will give me that opportunity, and that we can make President Trump proud.
That's a pretty big endorsement. And of course, we were just talking earlier because the president's farewell speech was on the radio. Michelle, did you have a question? I have Michelle Candelaria here with the Arizona Republican National Hispanic Assembly.
Hi, Dr. Ward.
Hi, Michelle.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the support that you have given us. She lets us use her office every single month for our meetings. She has been huge on supporting our the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, and I'm looking forward to working with you to grow the Latino group here in Arizona. So my question is, how would you say that we would continue to be able to work together? Our organization is yours to grow the grassroots here in the state of Arizona.
Yeah, Michelle, you are doing a great job with the RNHA. It was a fledgling group that we just brought to Arizona a couple of years ago, and it has just grown and grown by leaps and bounds. And you and people like Terry Mendoza, have really brought life to that organization. And whenever you say, I let you use my office, that's our office. It is the Republican office. It's not my office. It belongs to all of us as Republicans, and I'm so glad that we can provide that facility. One of the legacy projects that I've put in place that will go on no matter who's the chairman for the next 2 years is keeping the office in South Phoenix open. It was a Latinos for Trump office that we opened under the Trump campaign. And we have to continue to build on those relationships that we started to build during a campaign, and not be the typical politicians that as soon as the election's over, you shut it off. I want, so we've committed from the AZ GOP, we've committed to the lease, we've committed to continuing to run that office as a Hispanic outreach center. And building on what we had there. And I look forward to it. I think that President Trump and the policies that he put forward and the promises that he made and the promises that he kept, not just to the Latino community, but across the board, have really expanded the base of our party beyond what anybody could have ever foreseen. And I want to continue to grow that.
Also, Kelly, I should really call you Dr. Ward. It's just I've known you such a long time, and Kelly's just such a warm personality.
Kelly is perfect.
George and I want to express our thank you as well, because for a while Chips and Salsa was kind of between studios, so we were also allowed to be at the AZGOP headquarters,
People's Home,
the People's Home, as George likes to call it, and
That's
you
right.
were very good about opening it up to all Republicans. I mean, that's just a simple fact. I wanted to, we're talking to Dr. Kelli Ward. She's running for AZGOP chairwoman. We're going to be voting on that. George and I, our state committeeman, will be there on Saturday. But I wanted to mention real quick that tomorrow night you're having a virtual video call, right?
Yes, we are. And I believe an email went out today. And if people want that, they can get in touch with me or probably with Alice or with George to be able to get that email sent out to you. But we're trying to target people that are on the state committee so that they can come, they can ask questions, they can, because there's a lot of rumors out there, there's a lot of falsehoods that are floating around. I mean, it's campaign season, so you have to kind of expect it. I really expect more from our Republicans, but sometimes you're disappointed, and I would like to be able to answer questions that people on the state committee might have about our accomplishments over the last 2 years and our vision for the next 2. Because I know that I am not a perfect person. I also know that I am able to learn from either mistakes or things that could have been done better. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to continue to implement what the people of our state committee, what our precinct committeemen, and what Republicans as a whole see as the path forward to be able to win and win big in 2022 and beyond.
Is there anything, I know you've just got a couple more minutes, why don't you go ahead and take those 2 minutes and just tell us what you'd like to, and we will see you Saturday.
I can't wait to see everybody on Saturday. I'll tell you. So some of the components of the 2020 vision for the AZGOP, for the Republican Party of Arizona, the 2022 vision, include election integrity. It's number 1. Combating big tech and the mainstream media censorship, and making sure that we as conservatives, we as Republicans have free speech rights as well as business rights, because Republicans like Josh Hawley are being discriminated against because they are Republican. That is un-American. Number 3, we have to be focused on election integrity. On Arizona redistricting. If we aren't careful with the redistricting, we could end up in the place where we were in 2011. I don't want to see that happen. We've got to take back some offices, the Secretary of State, the Superintendent of Public Instruction, for sure. We've got to hold the governor. We've got to hold the AG. We've got to hold the Treasurer's office. We have to make sure that we field conservative candidates. So there's a lot of targets for the midterm that we're going to be concentrating on. Ending the lockdowns, restoring our freedoms, reopening our state, ending unconstitutional and these damaging lockdowns, making sure that our citizens can keep their businesses open, employ their workers, and serve their communities and their customers. And then last but certainly not least is community outreach and continuing to build those relationships that we've started over time under previous chairmen as well. There was Robert, I think, built some good relationships. They kind of went down in the 2018 cycle, but we've built them back up and built them up stronger. And I want to continue that as well. Not just the Latino community, but in the the Navajo Nation and the Asian Pacific community, the Log Cabin Republicans, the LDS community. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of plans to do it, and we've got the experience so that we're not recreating the wheel, so that we can grow even stronger and win those elections in 2022.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking some time today. I know you have a very busy schedule. So we've been talking to Dr. Kelli Ward. She is the current AZGOP chairwoman, and she is running again. We're going to be voting on that Saturday. George and I will be there, and we will see you there, chairwoman. Thank you for your service, and good luck to you. And we hope to talk to you again.
Thank you, Alice. And with the other 3 people that are running for chairman, there are places for them in the Republican Party of Arizona with a Kelli Ward chairmanship for 2 more years. I'm not going to let one drop of Republican talent go to waste.
I can appreciate that sincerely. Absolutely. All right, Kelli, you take care. Catch up with you Saturday.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. All right, well, we'll be right back, and we still have another segment left. We'll be talking to our wonderful guest, Michelle Candelaria, the chairwoman of the Arizona Republican National Hispanic Assembly. I'm Alice Lara with
Don Jorge.
Here on the Chips and Salsa Show, Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. Don't go away, because we'll be right back.
This is the Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix, a Central City radio station.
I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
We want to introduce you to a brand new show. It's the Chips and Salsa Show, La Voz
De la Comunidad.
powered by the Lozada team.
And I'm Cristina Lozada, your trustworthy realtor. If you need to buy or sell, you can always count with the professionals of Lozada team.
And Security National Mortgage, we're here for the Lozada team for your purchase and refinance needs.
So join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. It's the Chips and Salsa Show, powered by the Lozada team. It's La Voz
De la Comunidad.